Hey guys, what's going on? I'm going to bring in Stefanos right now.
Little bit of
Hello, hello, hello.
A little bit of a technical difficulty. My Brave browser was not allowing my microphone or my camera to work. It's like weird.
Technology, is it good or bad? It's kind of like AI is horrible. Don't use it.
Anyways, whoever's tuned in tonight, share this out. We're going to be talking about Stefanos. You want to say it?
Pedos, and more pedos.
St. Catharines or Niagara Falls?
Falls area.
St. Catharines, Niagara Falls, it's the whole Niagara region. It is the hotbed of pedophilia in Canada, which Canada is the worst country for pedophilia. It's turned into a safe haven for these bastards. Ed, Mike.
Depends how you look at it. If you're a pedophile, it's pretty good here.
Absolutely. Or a child trafficker or a human trafficker of some kind. And you know what? Males are always the target. Males, and males.
Anyways, guys, share this out if you can. We're going to be, you haven't heard much about this person in the mainstream media over the last little while, maybe just a teeny tiny bit, but they're going to be trying to hide him from what I've heard. And while we're waiting for people to share this out, what else you got for us, Stefanos? Heard much about Antifa being declared a terrorist organization by Trump?
Oh, something along those lines. Amazing how Anti-Hate Network is funded by the government. And don't forget, Ed, they already got sued and they lost. So, you know how it goes.
Did they get sued here or in the States?
I can't remember. I think it was here, but I can't remember. They got sued and they lost because they were hiring Antifa. But according to a regional counselor, or sorry, not a regional counselor, I believe it was a St. Catharines counselor, Kate Baguette, she was bragging on how she established Anti-Hate Network in the Niagara region. Imagine that. She's bragging about being Antifa. So, my question is Anti-Hate Network really Antifa? Or are they a separate entity, business-wise, that hires out Antifa to target people? I don't know.
Okay. I think they're one and the same, and here's the reason why. Evan Balgore is quite high up in Antifa. I know this for a fact. I believe he's the president or something along those lines right now. And I know when Max Bernier was trying to speak to the people in Hamilton, it was McMaster University, I believe it was. Evan Balgore was giving Antifa members shit for causing such a scene and for getting in the face of that old couple. Remember that? So,
Oh, yes, the communist broad that ended up self-destructing and committing suicide. She was a full-blown communist, and that guy with the business in Toronto, I can't remember his name. I don't even know who Belgord is, but my big fucking question is, why are taxpayers paying these people? And that event you're speaking about, where Maxime Bernier was there, don't forget, Andrew Scheer, the Conservative Party, hired out Warren Kinsella to go after Bernier at that event there at Mohawk College also. And when Scheer thought he was a smart guy. So guys, pay the fuck attention, because the Conservatives are no different than the fucking Liberals. Pay the fuck attention. When Scheer called out Trudeau, saying that he hires these organizations, Trudeau fired right back at him and exposed Scheer at the same time, saying about them hiring them also. So there is no left, right. Don't use that. It's a form of division. That's language for division. And they were going and hiring the same organizations, the same groups. So don't be fooled. Stop throwing your vote to these people. My God. And why the fuck should Canadian taxpayers pay for such a group? I don't know.
interesting that you would name that. Warren Kinsella, maybe we got short memories, but I remember Warren Kinsella quite well. You know where this last time I saw Warren Kinsella?
No, not at all.
It was a Sunday morning when February, no, it was March of 2022 when most of the people were leaving the Ottawa area. I saw him down at the hotel, leaving the hotel area with his driver. And the guy's looking pretty old, actually. No wonder his wife divorced him. He looked pretty quite hot. But, anyways, what kind of fag names his company the Daisy Group? Like, really?
I don't know if he's gay or not. I'm gonna steer clear of that crap. But yeah, the Daisy Group. That's right. Now that you said that, it rang a bell instantly.
But isn't that a gay name?
Well, no, I don't think it would be a gay name. Maybe he likes daisies. I don't know. I don't pass judgment on that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what it's called, the Daisy Group. But everyone can draw their own conclusion on that.
Yeah. So, anyways, Warren Kinsella was leaving the hotel area by the Ottawa International Airport. There was a whole bunch of hotels, and that's where the cops were staying. And one of our other friends was staying there too. And I can't believe that he was staying right in the middle of the hornet's nest. Cop cars all over the place. And I'm sure they were doing a lot of their planning and conniving and what have you. But funny how they all kind of congregate in one area. Oh, anyways, yeah, Warren Kinsella. So he plays both fields, been divorced. He's a wannabe musician. And all he can do is do hit pieces. Back to Antifa, though. Evan Balgord, I believe, is now the president of Canadian Anti-Hate. I thought Daisy was a woman's name.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. No, Hashem, don't associate that with Daisy Dukes, all right? Because she was smoking hot. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, share this out. We're gonna start talking about a not so nice person. 81 charges, Stefanos?
81 just in this one historical. There were previous several amount on top of previous victims last year.
So we're going to get into it in a minute. Share this out if you can. They're trying to keep this one quiet, are they not?
I don't know, Ed. I don't know. They've been trying to do a bunch of stuff back and forth, like the last protest. I didn't see that person's name on the docket, but I was told they were on the docket, and they wouldn't give up a courtroom, claiming there was no courtroom and it was held behind back doors, or closed doors. Sorry, and just remember, people in St. Catharines, Fridays, 9 a.m., courtroom 3. It's always remand court. This is where all the pedos go. They all get their bail. They make sure they get the pedos first and foremost, and they get them out as quick as possible. So, I don't know. I seen another docket now showing that this guy is supposed to be at 10:45, but I'm not trusting anything. I'm going to be there 8 o'clock. I'm going to be bright and early. If anyone wants to come out, grab a coffee, sit around, shoot the shit with me, that's good. And we gotta pressure our government here. The laws need to be changed. Oh, that was sounding refreshing. Cheersers, eh?
Cheers, eh?
So yeah, I'll be there bright and early, guys.
Okay, who are we talking about? I'm gonna share the link you sent me, if I can. And here it comes.
We're talking about Todd Williston, bus driver. Get the other one up first, Ed. Get the other one up, because we want to show why these sons of bitches are a public safety risk, and the courts keep declaring them as not being a safety risk to the public, which they are, and not only just the general public, but if not the general public, they're a damn risk to our children. There he is. There's the guy's face. You can see him now. If you want to just click on close there, Ed, and get that stupid bar out of the way so we can see this guy. So this was of December 19, 2024. They had 2 victims at that time, under the age of 16, sexually assaulted, going all the way back to 1996 to 2006. And what's so horrible about this is, and you can go down, Ed, they put a description on him, they identify him by his tattoo, and another picture he was using, and you'll see Todd Williston, 52. So, yeah, this is a picture coming up. Here's an earlier photo of him. Yeah, I'm not even going to say anything just on his looks. There's his tattoo. So they use that to identify him. Police are asking, they believe there's more victims, and there were more coming forward. And I do believe, yeah, so he's a school bus driver again. The school system and the school bus, you know, all that stuff to do with the school system, unfortunately, are a magnet for pedophiles. And this is what we're dealing with. This is the outcome of this. There's no safeties in place. And last show we spoke about the federal government, the changes they made to the criminal code, and why it's Doug Ford who's in charge of the provincial courts, and this is where these guys are in. So it's Doug Ford and the liberal federal government. It's both people. It's not one. It's easy to say liberals because everybody hates liberals so much, but it's the PC party also, Doug Ford, and the bill he passed. So this is why they're getting that guaranteed bail over and over and over. But we have had enough. The Niagara region is a hotbed for these predators, and they're taking full advantage of it because it's a safe haven, and they just come out. Now, Ed, is it this one here that has where it shows the aliases he's used? And I find this rather disturbing.
Okay,
remember
last week we had a protest with the sex offender in Welland. That was a 3-year-old girl that got this. Well,
Yeah.
Apparently, he's in Toronto Detention Center.
Well, they moved him because he was, I heard, I don't know how true this is or not, but I heard he had 4 armed guards guarding him 24/7. The inmates there were going crazy. They were screaming for the guards to hand him over to them and everything. Then he tried to get transferred, trying to claim he's a transgender. He tried to claim he's a woman, and he was trying to get transferred to a woman's prison apparently, and that ended up being denied. This is what I've heard. So, you know, this isn't, this is a big problem here. We got a huge problem. And Hashem, yes, at the taxpayer's expense, but you know what? As a taxpayer, I have no problems to keep predators like this in prison for life. Never mind a year or 2 or 8 months or whatever the hell they like to give them nice light sentences. But this guy, this recent guy who was arrested last year, this sicko is a whole other animal, guys. He's a whole other animal here. You know, God, oh my God! Like, Ed, can we get that? Let me see which one it was. So this most recent guy, he was 52 when he was arrested last year, released, and he is a martial arts instructor and a bus driver. So this is horrible. Tomorrow he's seeking for bail, and he's also seeking for a publication ban. So we cannot say any of the details that happen in the courtrooms from then on when the publication ban comes forth, because he will end up being protected. It's not to protect the victims, as they claim, because they never say the victim's name, but they always mention the predator's name, all right? And the predator is who they seek to protect.
August 7th, 2025.
There you go. 81 charges, and we just find out about it today. What are we? What are we now? We're September. So how is this man a year later on August the 7th, but we all find out about this on September the 18th, 2025? And this is a real sick bastard, okay? I'm going to say as much as I can here before this publication ban goes on, but I'll urge everybody to fill that goddamn courtroom, because on their first appearance is where you hear how disgusting they are in the details. There's another predator that lives around the corner from the courthouse. I can't say anything about that case because there's a publication ban on there. But what I wanted to point out, Ed, is if you scroll down to where they say the aliases that this slime bag used, and if you notice, it's not so much the female children that are targeted. The majority of the time, it's male children that are targeted by these sick bastards. And, right here in the article, it tells you that there's 14 counts of unlawful possession of child pornography. But there was 16 victims, okay? Out of the 16 victims, 14 of them are boys, and there's only 2 girls that are victims. So these guys prey on males. And I'm talking about the CHCH article, Ed. And if you scroll down near the bottom, I think it's the second last paragraph near the bottom, this is what I find very interesting, because these aliases, like Todd Helms, not the first name but the last name, Uncle Doug, again, not the first part, the first part, not the last part, Pleber. Okay, Pleber in itself is commonly used by pedophiles. Chubby Todd, so chubby, and then whatever name they come up with is another word that is key that pedophiles use. And I'm finding a lot of striking similarities to that 31 people, was it, in the child sex ring that the OPP put out a press release on, of these guys all being in a child ring. This is strikingly familiar. Now, I don't want to spread any false information, but to me, those aliases used, along with another predator that's charged right now and out on bail, by the way. He's been charged several times, so it's not just one charge again. These are names that are very, and a couple of them being exact. This is very terrifying. And again, to the Niagara region, again, Canada, again, the Niagara region is the hotspot for these predators, and that's because of the fact that they have, we have ports. So when they're human trafficking, they're putting them out. During COVID, the hotels in Niagara Falls, a lot of them were filled with human traffickers, had filled them up with their victims. They were renting them out and had them in there. There's an article about it. Don't take my word for it. Search it up, guys. These people are disgusting, vile animals. And I'll tell you, the things you hear when you are in that courtroom on their first appearance, because the Crown has to say a little bit of what they've done, absolutely frightening and disgusting, vile monsters. And the other pedophile I'm talking about, God, I wish to God I could repeat what you heard, or sorry, what I heard. And not only that, but the Crown actually had to cut themselves short because they wanted to spare the people in the court, the public, the details of it. They were so terrible, all right? So only the judge or the JP or whoever sits on their appearances, they're the only ones privy to that because they have all the documentation in front of them. But this is a real problem, and we need legislative change, period. And I'm coming from a an angle where I am also a survivor. So this hits a little bit more close to home for me than it does for other people. And this is why I chose to expose Doug Ford a couple of days ago, on Monday actually. And, his answer was complete bullshit. And this is how they tried to hide themselves and play dumb. And, well, I don't know much about anything. Well, he knows a lot, especially when the PC party has been involved since 1978. There's no denying that shit. But guys, there's a real big problem here, and we need to correct it. So we need to pressure our MPPs, we need to pressure our MPs, and we need to push for legislative change. We need the sex offender list must be made public, because time and time again it shows that the majority of these predators reoffend over and over. So there's no point in taking them, say, from Toronto and shipping them to Niagara, or even shipping them to another province, because all you're doing is you're putting children and the general public at risk, period. So we need to stop this stuff, and tomorrow I hope that everybody shows up at the courthouse. I know there's some time.
Hang on. Which courthouse? What's the address? What's the time?
So apparently what I've seen on the docket is 10:45. They're calling for people to gather to make the ride from Welland up there at 9:30 and to reach the courthouse by 10. I would suggest that everyone show up a little sooner. And not to stray from the program, I'm just giving a little air to caution, because they move these predators out of the courthouse as soon as they can. They get them up right away and move them out. And like I said, remand court is Fridays, 9 a.m., courtroom 3. So they might see that the general public, especially now with all the pressure that's been putting on them, they may be changing times. Everything's subject to change, nothing's set in stone. So we want to make sure that when this predator goes up tomorrow, we want to make sure that the courthouse, those judges and JPs inside the courthouse, is going to hear your voice. We want it to be loud, and we want them to hear it. We want them to know that the public is not standing for this anymore. And guys, don't blame law enforcement on this, because law enforcement's hands are tied. And like I said, it's the orders from the legislation, and the judges the same thing. The judges got to follow the legislation. So it's not the municipality. They have nothing. Section 14.1 of the Municipal Act prevents them from interfering with anything. They're powerless. But MPs and MPPs, those are the ones that are specifically responsible for what's happening in our courts today, when they're being given bail, and multiple repeat offenders letting out. So there just might be, Hashem. I think you should go on down to 59 Church Street tomorrow. I'd say a safe time is 9, but that's when the courthouse opens. Myself, I'll be there around 8 o'clock in the morning. So this really hits close to home, and with the stuff that's transpired over the last couple of years at Robert Ann Academy, this especially hits close to home. And stay tuned, because you're going to get more on that at a later date. But
hang on. Would you type in the name of the courthouse, what courtroom number, the time, and the actual address, so that people know, go to the right place? I don't want people going to the wrong courthouse.
Yeah, I'll put in the address of the courthouse. There's The name, I can't remember the name. So all you really need is the address. The name doesn't matter. The location matters. And, I'll say 9 o'clock. If you can make it sooner, please do. I think everybody else is going to be rolling in around 9:30, 10. But myself, I'm going to be in the courts tomorrow. I'll be right in that courtroom, and I'll be waiting to hear what goes on. I got fooled out of the courthouse the last protest there, so that's not going to happen again. I'll be in there at the right time. I am a reporter photographer also, so I'll be having my credentials with me tomorrow, and I will be entering that courthouse and going in that courtroom. So if a publication ban goes on, then obviously I can't report on it, but at least I can when the trial is actually over, the publication ban is lifted. At that point, then I can make a story and write it up and get it out there and let people know. This is an absolute travesty that's happening in the Niagara region and in Canada, of all fucking places in the world, Canada. Can you believe a country like this and what we've fallen down to and becoming a safe haven for human traffickers, child traffickers, and pedophiles, all these predators or alleged predators. This is absolutely disgusting what's happened here, and all this falls on the shoulders of the MPPs and the federal government, both provincial and federal. Nobody else, guys. That's solely on these disgusting politicians that supposedly are protecting us from this kind of stuff. And they have a standard, they have a duty of care to the public, and they're failing this duty of care substantially at this point by making the legislation the way they've made it. So, I have the utmost respect for law enforcement and judges and JPs when it comes to this. I understand myself what they're tied to, what they can do, and they're bound by the legislation. So whether they even agree with it or not, it's out of their hands, it's out of their reach. It falls solely on our politicians on a provincial level and federal level. That's who's to blame, not these guys. These guys are, and I sympathize with them because that's one hell of a tough job, especially being a judge or a JP.
Okay, again, which courthouse, which city? I'm going to look it up.
Okay, so the city is St. Catharines. The address is 59 Church Street. And the time they have, what we've been told, is 10 o'clock from the organizers of the protest. What I've seen on the docket is 10:45. And I'm not going to chance anything, so I'm not going to tell everyone to come way too early. But it's always good that staff, lawyers, judges, whoever, as they're walking into that courthouse before it opens at 9, it's always good for them to see a large presence of people, because that shows that there is a massive public interest in the case and what's going on here. So again, myself, I'm going to appear at about 8 o'clock. I'll be out there. Everybody else come whenever you like. If you want to go with the schedule of what's out there, I'm just speaking from personal experience. And not everyone's got that. So I'm just, it's my own time here. Everybody doesn't need to follow it. Just come when you like. Just myself, I don't want to miss anything, so I want to be there. As far as I know, I did see that, but it's not just bikers. So we can't make this just about bikers. These bikers are just normal bikers. They're just normal people with motorcycles. They're not, as far as I know, they're not affiliated with anyone, as the story that went out from one of the news outlets went and said it was a white nationalist biker protest, which it was not. So, you can't say nationalist white and try to bring an aspect or an element of race. And, there's nothing wrong with national pride. This is completely insane. And just because you ride a motorcycle, suddenly you're some sort of biker. There was a dirt bike there. What are they? Is it a dirt bike gang? Like, come on. This is bullshit from the mainstream, certain mainstream media that I was actually floored that they said that, because, there might have been 50 people on bikes, but there was hundreds upon hundreds of people that don't ride bikes. So the majority are the people, and this is a point that the people of the Niagara region are fed up with this. We're fed up with the provincial government, we're fed up with the federal government, and we're fed up with predators taking advantage of this system that's in place now for their own deviant, disgusting pleasure. We need to protect children, and we need that change now. So this is, it can't be about bikers and people. This is the people, period. That includes everyone. Who cares? There could be 100 trucks there. There could be 1,000 bikers. There could be 10,000 people. It has absolutely nothing to do with race, because it wasn't national white nationalist that they try to say, because there's black people. If you look at my video from there's people of all colors, all races, all creeds of religion that were there. So this is something that you have to pay attention. There are some good media outlets that actually did excellent mainstream media guys that done excellent reporting on this. It's just a couple of key ones. I'm not going to mention them, but there's a couple of key ones that were out there that totally try to put a race spin on it, which is ridiculous. It's terrible. What's going on is there's a protest against the court, not the courts, against the legislation that is making the courts, forcing them to release these child predators, stating that they are not a danger to the public, which they clearly are, because children are part of the public. And in the case on the article that's on screen right now, you will see this is a reoffender. 1 year ago he was arrested, and now in August he was rearrested for reoffending, and this time 81 charges and something like, I think it was 16 or 14 victims, all boys except 2 were girls. So this is a disgusting individual, disgusting human being. You can't even call them human beings. They're just disgusting at what's going on in this area. The Niagara region's just terrible.
So just for people that tuned in late, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., 59 Church Street, the courthouse is in St. Catharines, courtroom 3, 9 a.m. tomorrow, remand. And more people that show up, less chances guys are getting out, because he's going to try to make bail, probably reoffend. This is the second time going at this. Is it not, Stefanos? It's not something new for this guy.
Yeah, so this is a second time he's reoffended, and the police put out on their media release that there are still more victims, and they want him to come forward. Curly, I'm not saying you're implying anything. Just where you asked if there's bikers, if there is any lamestream media watching this, you know how they like to villainize everyone. So I just wanted to make it clear, this has nothing to do with white nationalism. This has nothing to do with bikers. This has everything 100% to do with we, the people of Niagara, are sick and tired. Just so you people watching, and yes, I said you people, so I guess I'm a racist now, so whatever. The point here is I've lived in the Niagara region all my life, so I've been here all my life, and when we would get pedophilia problems like this, or you know what, I'm not even gonna limit it to that. Predators, when we get child predators or alleged child predators, is this back in the day you might get one every a year, 9 months, you know, one, maybe even longer. But now this has gone to be a daily problem down here, and it's not one arrest, it's multiple arrests per day now. It's like 2, 3 in a day, and you know, this reoffending here is not limited just to children and being predators. There's one case where the guy, there was numerous victims in the teens, and he was released, and with conditions, of course, because again, public. But then suddenly he gets arrested again, and not even a year later, and it was rather soon, and this time it was several more victims, including previous victims, where he went and started even intimidating them. So, you know, this has gotten way the hell damn out of control. And then there was an Indian person, and I'm not talking East Indian or something, I'm talking Native Indian here, all right? Because they've convoluted the titles of everyone. So an Indian lady who had taken a box of damn diapers from freaking Walmart, and shame on Walmart for even doing this, but this lady, you know, Family Children's Services stepped in, abducted her kids, or sorry, apprehended, abducted is the wrong word, apprehended their kids, and you think she made bail? Oh, hell no, because taking a damn box of diapers from Walmart, you're a danger to the public. But don't worry about raping and stuff of 14 children and boys and 2 being girls. No, they're not a danger. If you don't see this problem and the contrast between this, you got a mental illness yourself. This is a damn serious problem, and we need to step up here as people, as a community, as parents of those children, and we need to protect them. If government and law enforcement, if government is tying law enforcement's hands and tying the judicial system's hands from preventing this stuff, the only people we have left is ourselves and executing our parental duties and protect our children. Because there's no damn way the government's going to do it. This is a big problem.
There you go. Just going through this article for those that tuned in late. So you got a little bit more of a feel for what's going on here with this guy. So he's going to try to get bail, probably will get bail, unless a lot of people show up there. 81 charges, that's quite a bit.
That's a lot, Ed. This guy should not be seeing the light of day ever again. He should be getting the maximum under the law that's allowed.
If he is guilty, though.
Well, if he is guilty, yeah. Sorry, alleged. These are all allegations right now.
Yeah, I like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but 81 counts? Wow.
And a reoffending? Wow again.
All right, Stefanos, anything else? I'm going to keep it short tonight. I got to be up early tomorrow. Got any questions?
Questions in the chat?
anybody anything, no, this is about it, Ed. I just wanted to bring everyone's awareness. And again, tomorrow, September 19th, 59 Church Street, St. Catharines. The time is slated for, I believe it's 9:30 or 10 o'clock. I would suggest everyone show up a little sooner, maybe 9 o'clock. Grab yourselves a coffee, talk with each other, and just wait for the rest of the peaceful assembly participants to show up. And we need to make our voices heard. We need to be the voice for those who cannot be, and that's the children. So we need to do everything in our power to protect them, and we need everything in our power to make sure that the general public, that all the public are aware of who these people are, and that so they, if they're living close to them, can protect their children. Don't leave them unsupervised. Make sure they have cell phones. Make sure they know how to use the emergency 911 call. Make sure they know all of this stuff. Protect them as much as possible. Educate them as much as possible. And a lot of these predators, they're online, or alleged predators are online. Video games. Don't let your kids play video games without supervision, because that's where it starts. There's no supervision. If anything, you should be putting keyloggers into your children's computers, so when those children are not home, you can go and you can look in those computers to see what interactions they're having online. You can see what keystrokes are pressed. You can see conversations. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. You need to protect your children by any means possible. Don't forget, as a parent, you have a duty of care to your child, as government has a duty of care to the people that they're governing. Not ruling, but governing. That's a very key, important thing there. And we need to make our voices heard and push for legislative change. The public has a right to know what dangerous predators are living in their neighborhoods. We need to make that sexual predator, child predator registry available to the public. It should never, at any point in time, be hidden, because people need to be made aware for their children's safety and their own safety.
All right, quickly, we're going to end this in a few more minutes. You had a conversation with Doug this week, didn't you? The liberal leader of the Conservative Party?
Oh, the liberal Conservative Party leader. Yes. I had a little conversation with him. Yes, I did. The Progressive Conservative Party, as I've stated, I am a survivor of a private military-style school at a very young age. There are hundreds upon hundreds of victims span across several predators, but I'm not going to go into detail. But this school has been tied to the Progressive Conservative Party, tied to their hip since 1978. There's been almost 50 years of abuses at this school. And unfortunately, the Progressive Conservative Party chooses to not respond to emails about it, chooses not to work with survivors of that school in order to come up with proper legislation, making change for not the public school system, but the private school system. You would be amazed at how bad this legislation is. Shortly you'll be getting an update on that. You're going to see some big change, some moves coming for change. Stay tuned. We've been working on this for the last couple of years or so now, maybe just over a couple of years. So we've, not just me, there's several survivors. There's hundreds of survivors that have been pushing for change here. And this is why I take this stuff very personal. Unfortunately, it is what it is right at this point. But, you know, there's hundreds of us. And a lot of us that are no longer here today because of that school. So you have to understand the importance of this, especially of tomorrow's event, especially what's transpired in Welland with the 3-year-old, and all the other victims out there, because we don't hear all the victims. We don't hear all the predators. We don't know them all. But I can guarantee you 100% that there are multiple predators being arrested per day. And there's tens of thousands of victims out there. So you have to understand and realize the importance of this, of all of us coming together to let government know we're no longer going to stand for this. We need change. We need legislative change. And we need protection for our children. And protection for our parents, our children, every single damn Canadian in this country, and everybody in this Niagara region. We need to come together. We need to show support for each other. And we need to be one very loud voice that the government can no longer ignore. And that's what we have to understand. Ed, you're muted.
Somebody told me to mute my mic when you're talking. So, anyways, guys, if you find any value in this, you find this interesting at all, you think there's people that should be aware of this, share this out, please. Send that any which way you can. And hopefully we'll get a good crowd showing up tomorrow morning. Make sure this guy stays put in jail.
One last thing, Ed, I forgot to mention, sorry. If you know anybody that attended Robert Land Academy throughout the years from 1978 up to 2025, have a conversation with them. If they are not involved in any criminal action right now, a criminal complaint or lawsuit, direct them to me, have them contact me. Time is short, there will be time restraints, so we need to make those people, we need to make the victims whole again for all the wrongs that have been done against them. So just, you can message me at stefanos.karatopis@yahoo.com, or on my Facebook, Stefanos Karatopis, not a problem. Message me, email me, whatever. Let me know, get in contact.
All right. Good night, guys. Share this out again if there's people that want to show up. It's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. 59 Church Street, courthouse is in St. Catharines, courtroom 3, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And if they're on time, might be in front of a judge by 10. Well, we'll see. I think these guys, they like to hide these people from the public. At least the courts, we've witnessed that in the past. But we need a lot of people to show up. We can be the change. Share this out, guys. Stefanos, say hi to all our fans tomorrow morning.
I will do, and just get out there, people. We need everybody together.